Okay, Utkarsh, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, Chirag, how are you?
Good evening, sir. Fine.
And who was there? Unni, Samir, Akash Thakur. Akash Thakur. So I'm seeing you after some time. Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Okay. So I've just forgotten which entry are you going in for? Akash?
सर आई एम फॉर AFSB.
AFSB तो कौन सी एंट्री कौन सी AFSB में तो आप एनडीए में भी जा सकते हो और
फ्रॉम FCAT.
FCAT.
Yes.
And when is your SSB?
सर 9th में गांधीनगर गुजरात.
Is it your first attempt or you've been to the SSB earlier?
Yes, sir. It is my first attempt.
Very nice. करते क्या हो? What is your qualification and presently what are you doing?
Sir, currently now I am pursuing BA English honors, and also simultaneously I do work also.
You're working also.
Yes,
क्या
sir.
काम करते हो? What are you working as?
I am, sir, I am currently doing the profession of a barber.
Barber. Okay, चलो very nice. तो ये तो I think after तो कोविड के टाइम पे तो तुम्हारा everything must have been down, right?
Yes, sir.
People are doing their own haircuts or taking haircuts with some family members.
Yes, sir.
So is it your family profession?
No, sir. My father is a labor, and my uncle is a barber. So,
चलो good. Very nice. कहाँ कर रहे हो तुम BA कहाँ से कर रहे हो?
sir, from Bardhaman.
Bardhaman, Bengal.
Yes, sir. Bardhaman University.
Yes, Samir, how are you?
Sir, I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Sir, your injuries, I think, is okay now.
You can. It's okay. By and large, it's okay. There's
Yes,
a
sir. Mark is there only.
slight mark is there. तो ठीक है, चलो okay. तो थोड़ा बहुत चलता है. Yes, Uni, how things?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. क्या हो रहा है?
Yes, sir. Sir, heavy rain, sir, in Kerala.
Raining.
Heavy rain, sir. Heavy rain. It feels like each drop is like 5 kg.
Oh, excellent. So we can say excellent from this side. I don't know how is it feeling that way.
Sir, like we used to see it every day, so it's bad. I don't like it. So.
Okay, so Sabir wants to know कि उधर mangoes का season शुरू हो गया क्या?
What, sir? I'll get you.
Mangoes.
Yes, sir. Almost every place you can find mango. I mean, not every mango type. There's some specific mango types are there everywhere, but there is actually one specific mango which is very, costly, but it only happens like once or twice in a year. I mean, sorry, once in 2 years or 3 years.
Excellent.
Other than that, everywhere it's mangoes. Yeah.
Good. Right. So today, on request from some of the members, some of the candidates, I am again bringing that topic of screening. That basically today we will focus on the story writing, and we'll just try and see some stories, right? Some pictures and write stories on that, right? All of you ready? Let me Let me share my screen first. Huh? So how many people are there? Just about five people. Huh? Right? Can you all see the screen slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So PPDT story writing is what we're going to do. We're going to practice this. Okay. Let me just explain this thing here. Right. So this is Meet the Mentor 2022 month April, and this is the first session. Okay. This is how we're going to go about picture perception test, which is the second part of the screening test. The first part is the OIR. The second part is the PPDT. In PPDT, the first part is writing a story on a picture that you're shown. Now, how's this picture? You must listen to the briefing by the psychologist, right? Or duty technical officer, also it is called. Listen to the briefing by the psychologist very, very attentively, right? So you are shown a hazy picture. Deliberately, it is kept hazy so that there are differing views coming from different people, right? अगर बहुत clear आपको दिखा दिया जाए कि okay आपको टाइगर श्रॉफ दिखाई दे रहा है, आलिया भट्ट दिखाई दे रही है, then of course there is no for discussion की कोई बात ही नहीं है ना? Everyone will be having what we call same views, है ना? So deliberately it is kept hazy so that let us say you have 15 or 18 people in the group. So in each group you might find at least 6 to 7 versions or maybe even more how they interpret the picture, right? So it is by purpose that it has been designed as hazy. Now you are given 30 seconds to observe the picture. Thereafter you are given I'll put it 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes to write your observations and write your story. So recording the observation, this takes 1 minute, and writing your story takes 4 minutes. Okay, I'm sure all of you have been there except who's that? Akash, right?
Yes sir.
आकाश ठाकुर. आकाश, इतना तो मालूम है तुम्हें अभी?
जी सर, मुझे मालूम है.
So we'll not waste time here. So story आप पहली बात तो ये बता दें कि आपको observations क्या record करनी है, right? You see in the picture there will be a certain number of characters. You got to identify how many characters, what is their age, your perceived age, right? It doesn't have to be very accurate. The guesstimates, right? Whatever you guess. Then the sex and the mood. Sex means male, female, or person if you can't make out. And mood can be positive, negative, or neutral. Okay. Now, what have you perceived in the situation? Picture में आपने perceive क्या किया? किस तरह की situation आपको दिखाई दे रही है? हो सकता है कि it might be a scene of floods, it might be a scene of railway station, it might be an accident or whatever, right? Or a celebration. Now, what might have led to that particular situation, whatever you have perceived? And finally, what is the likely outcome? as you perceive it, right? Therefore, it is different from person to person, from candidate to candidate. Now, this is the format in which you're recording your answers, right? So there is, of course, here you write your personal particulars, etc. And then there is a box made over here, right? It's already made in the answer sheet. What you need to do is record your observations here, right? Suppose you see two males, right? And you think they're in negative mood, and you estimate their age to be between 20 to 25, right? Then you find one female. She is in a positive mood and she is of 20 years of age. Then you find one male who is in a positive mood and you estimate his age to be 20 years. Now this is your main character. So जो आपका main character है उसको आप encircle करो. But all this is told to you in the briefing. Briefing में आपको जो बताया जाता है आप उसी हिसाब से करो, right? So this is a guideline I am giving you. Please follow whatever is the briefing given to you. In case you have doubt, you are always asked, okay, if there is any doubt, you can ask. आपको कोई अगर doubt लगता है, please ask the duty psychologist. Right. So then, of course, after you write your story, you are divided into groups. पूरे आपके बैच में हो सकता है 10 ग्रुप बन जाएं या 8 ग्रुप बने, जितने भी हैं, depending on the number of students. And you are taken to a PPDT hall or a room. वहाँ पे you are given a briefing by the GTO that how the exercise is to be conducted. So he makes you sit in a semicircle where you can see each other, right? Now, you are to give your narration individually as per the briefing given to you. Normally, it is left to right, right? Person on the left, chest number wise, let's say chest number 1 to 18. So chest number 1 on the left hand side, followed by chest number 2, 3 till the chest number 18 speaks. Each individual is given approximately 45 to 60 seconds. Now, this is just again, I'm saying this is just a guideline. The actual timing might vary. It, in all probability, it might be lesser than 60 seconds. So what I've been advising students is that you prepare to narrate your story in 40 to 45 seconds, not more than that, right? उसको आप जितनी practice करोगे उतना ज़्यादा सही रहेगा आपके लिए. After the last person has spoken, then the discussion starts, right? So discussion may you're supposed to initiate, if you can initiate the discussion, nothing like it. If you cannot, obviously all 18 people cannot initiate the discussion, right? So अगर किसी वजह से आप discussion initiate नहीं कर पाए हो, does not matter, right? You can try and enter the discussion as soon as possible. जितना जल्दी से जल्दी हो सके आप इस discussion में participate करने की कोशिश करो. Because otherwise what happens when you wait for everyone to speak, right? तब तक सारा मसाला निकल चुका होता है. आपके ideas जो हैं वो they don't remain original. Somebody else has already spoken about it, right? So कोशिश ये करो कि yes, you should try and join the discussion as soon as possible, right? There you get to give your own views and participate in the discussion. You might have heard during the individual narration कि लोगों ने क्या क्या points दिए, उनको आप ध्यान में रखो ताकि आप discussion के time पे you are not wasting time in trying to analyze what people have said. You just go and add your points, right? They could be your own points, they could be borrowed from somebody else during the story. You can modify your story a little bit, right? Modify in the sense narration में आपने modify नहीं करना है. Discussion के time पे you can agree to somebody else's point of view also, right? So that can be added into your story or deleted from your story or something like that. So try and involve other people. And help build the consensus. Anyway, this is just for sake of academic interest I'm talking about here. We are not going to practice narration today. We are not going to practice discussion, right? Now, pictures आपको इस तरह की दिखाई दे सकती है वहां पे. Now here, if you see this picture, can you all make out these pictures easily?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just focus on each picture. Right. So if you see these pictures, right, picture number 1, right, here there is something in the background, right? There are some people here, but what is predominant in this picture is the background. Correct? आप लोगों को background, because आपको picture में क्या देखना है कि there will be characters somewhere. The characters are all by themselves, they are very significant, right? Background does not matter. In certain situations, it is the background which matters a lot. That decides the context of the picture, right? Yes. Right? So sometimes just the background of the picture can change the context. If there's 5 people or 2 people, going cycling in a pleasant weather, the picture might be, your story might be different. But if they are going cycling in a stormy weather and they are still cycling, right, then the context becomes different. If a person is, walking when there is torrential rain, right, the context is different. His urgency to travel or to walk during the rain, despite the torrential rain, it goes to show some kind of an emergency or some kind of an urgency. But अगर वो normal weather में अगर चल रहा है, then it is like, he's enjoying a walk. But here it is not enjoying torrential rain. Maybe, it has got some emergency, right? So that is the context. आपको जो बैकग्राउंड है उसको मद्देनजर रखना है, आपको बैकग्राउंड को ध्यान में रखना है, एंड दैट शुड कलर द योर स्टोरी, राइट? आपकी स्टोरी उससे इम्पैक्ट करेगी, राइट? सो यू सी हियर some rain here, there is a storm, heavy storm over here, and in the picture number 2, and something similar over here, right? So picture number 4 को आप देखो जरा ठीक से, just let me focus the picture number 4. Right? I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो आकाश, तुम्हें लगता है कि ऐसी ये कोई ऐसे मौज मस्ती के लिए निकला हुआ है यहाँ पे?
No, sir. वो कोई स्ट्रॉम आया सर, वो उससे बस बचकर निकलना चाह रहा है, अपनी आंखों को बचा रहा है.
हाँ, लेकिन उसका चलना, उसका सफर तय करना जरूरी है, राइट?
यस सर.
अगर यहाँ पे तूफान आंधी कुछ नहीं आ रहा होता, so then it could have been taken as कि ठीक है, he is enjoying the walk. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Samir. So what do you make out of this?
So I think he's going somewhere urgent. Maybe he's a farmer or a doctor. Farmer protecting the crops, or a doctor who is in urgent need.
Okay, farmer protecting the crops. No, normally
Yes,
farmer की जो एक कोई वेशभूषा होती है,
Yes, sir.
tradition, right? Customary, right?
Yes, sir.
So is it matching that?
No, sir. So it can be a doctor.
Yeah, it can be a doctor, it can be any person, it can be an office goer, or
Yes, sir.
anybody else? Okay. Yes. Utkarsh, what do you make this out to be?
Yes, sir. Somebody is coming back from the office, or maybe he's a teacher or a student who is coming back to his home, and the weather has gone ill. And
Yes. Right.
yes, sir.
And Unni, what do you make this out to be?
So a government employee going to a village government employee going to a village, something like that.
Government employee going to a village.
Yes,
For
sir.
what?
No, sir, he might be working in the village. He can be from the city. So
Okay. But there is an urgency for him to continue with the journey, right?
yes, sir, maybe medical doctor or something like that.
Chirag.
Yes, sir. Sir, he seems like a mechanic or a worker, and he is going for an emergency call.
Okay. Rahul Maurya, good evening. How are you?
Jain sir, I'm fine sir.
जय हिंद. ये बंदा क्या कर रहा है इतने बारिश तूफान में, आंधी तूफान में?
Sir, he is a graduation student who got a call from his friend. His friend needs to go to the hospital, so he's traveling by foot so that he can travel, get his friend in the car and train to the hospital.
All right. Okay. Right. Now, are you all ready to write a story?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to time you for 30 seconds. I'll show you a picture. And so you have your sheet ready with a box made there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your time starts now. 30 seconds, just observe the picture carefully. In next 1 minute, just write your observations. How many characters there, age, mood, sex. Okay, pens down. Stop writing. Yes. Now, narration में अभी मैं individual narration वैसे नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I just want you to read out your story normally, right? One by one, I'll just call you out. I just want to see, whether your story में कुछ context ठीक है कि नहीं, relevant है कि नहीं, right? We are not going to judge the story as such. I mean, this is narration per se, right? That we will do separately sometime. Utkarsh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, should I go ahead and
just
describe?
read out your story? Just
Okay,
read
sir.
your story with the way you have written.
Okay, sir. The protagonist of my story is Ravi, who is a 12-year-old child who has a poor and challenging background. His father runs a tea stall, and Ravi, being a mature child for his age, tries to help his father in serving for guests apart from managing his studies. One day, a group of 3 guests comes for tea and playing some card games, and they try to involve Ravi in their game. But Ravi, being a child with understanding of people, politely refuses and serves them well, and accepts the tip they give and comes back and services the other guests.
Okay. And Ravi, just say that again. What is Ravi is the host. Who else is the host?
Father runs a tea stall. So I perceived 3 other characters. Father is not in the picture. Father runs a tea stall where Ravi helps him.
All right. Okay. So this is as far as the story is concerned. Now, you perceived a situation where they're playing cards or something in the shop. What happens in future? What is the likely outcome? Do you think it is something which is acceptable, which should be done in front of this thing, or even a child labor? As a responsible person, would you encourage something like this, or would you see in the future that either they tell the shopkeeper, the tea shop owner, don't employ this guy to do this job, or something like that, right? So is it acceptable to you?
No, it's not acceptable to me. I didn't mention those points, sir.
So that's when you say, what is the likely outcome, likely future?
Right, sir.
Right? Would you like to intervene somewhere? Give your opinion. Otherwise, you're just accepting it fait accompli.
Okay, sir.
Right? I mean, so when I'm talking about this, ये 3 चीजें हम लोग खास तौर से इसी में हर पिक्चर में, whether it is the TAT or it is the PPDT, we are saying what you perceive, what could have led to it, and what is the likely outcome. Now, likely outcome may be, you can say either he was very desperate to, the family was very desperate for earning the for earning a livelihood, right? And he was thereafter because of this, earnings, etc. He studied very well and something like that, because something has to come in future, right? अभी क्या है, बहुत bland है, उसमें future के बारे में आपने बात ही नहीं की. Getting the point? चलो, okay. Rahul.
Yes, sir. So 4 male characters of age between 10 to 35 years, mood positive. Action is get together. Main character is Sohan. Sohan is a doctor, and his 2 close friends decided to plan a get together at friend's place at weekend. To refresh, they were playing, and Sohan's friend's son came up in the group while Sohan was smoking and continued to smoke. Even that, Sohan stopped his friend and tried to tell him the disadvantages of smoking, not only to his body but with his son's health. and his friend understood, but Sohan told him about the methods of quitting smoking, doing meditation that he can practice and leave the habit, and his friend complied to it, and in future with the help of meditation he quit.
Chalo, okay. Um, right. Who else is there? Chirag.
Yes, sir. As I perceived, there are four characters, out of which three are of same age group between 30 to 35, and all are male and in positive mood. And one small child of age around 10 years, also in positive mood. Action of my story is friends get together. Ashish is a software engineer, and on the occasion of New Year, he decides to organize a small party at his place with his friends. He calls them and asks and discusses them the time preferred for them. He also ordered some food from outside and they all and make some arrangements for them. They did lunch together and later play cards and enjoys the day and spent quality time together.
Okay. So ये बच्चा कहाँ चला गया तुम्हारी कहानी में?
Yes, sir. I mentioned that they have decided to get together at his place. So he is the son of the main
So
character.
is it okay for you to कि बच्चे के सामने smoking and playing cards is okay?
No, sir.
So would you like to mention this?
Yes, sir.
Right. This is precisely what is being seen. That there is nothing, no sin in playing cards or maybe even smoking. If you are among the friends, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, लोग करते हैं. And like you rightly brought in a new year. It could be Diwali or something. Diwali में it's काफी जगह customary होता है कि cards खेलते हैं, right? कुछ ना कुछ इस तरह का चलता है, which is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing. It's not sinful. But doing it in front of a child, smoking, right? So ये चीज it's something which is not acceptable as a responsible person. So you have to make your point कि yes, it is not acceptable and you need to do something about it, right?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, so ये चीज तुम्हारी सामने उसमें आनी चाहिए. Otherwise it will appear as it is absolutely okay with you. And यहाँ पे मेरे को लगा कि you have almost ignored this child. Child plays a very crucial role in this picture.
Yes, sir.
Okay, child has got a crucial role in this picture. तो
Yes,
आपकी स्टोरी का जो रेलेवेंस है वो थोड़ा सा कम हो गया. ओके.
Yes, sir.
Samir.
In the picture shown to us, I perceived multiple characters, and the main character of my story is a male of 19 years old in a positive mood. Ajal, a 19-year-old filmmaker, decided to work on a social film about smoking. He first wrote a script about how people casually indulge into smoking and later inhibit as a habit. He also added an arc of a little boy who is affected by smoking through passive smoking. Then he hired actors for that. He rented camera and decided to shoot the film in its room. He also added research based on various studies and data. He edited the film and added background scores for that. He put it on his YouTube channel and was successful for him.
चलो good. Though it's imaginative, right? ठीक है. Fine. Who else is there? Yeah, Unni.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rahul was an IT professional. Once he was invited to a friend's home for a party. So his friend recently had a promotion. That's why they were conducting the party. And during the party, they were playing cards and smoking. Some of them were smoking. So during that time, his friend's son came into the room and he noticed that none of the friends was, or his father was not sending him away. So he stood up quickly, stopped the games, and sent the boy away from the room. And then he scolded his rest of the friends and told them that there could be a lot of psychological as well as health issues that the boy could face in the future. And the friends apologized and they continued with their game and party.
Okay, so health issues, though it is for the others also, huh? Not only for the boy.
Yes, sir.
Chalo, okay. Right. So I hope anybody else who's left out? I think everyone is there, right? Or Akash Thakur.
Yes sir.
हाँ बोलो तुम्हारी स्टोरी बताओ.
सर वो मैं स्टोरी लिख नहीं पाया सर, वो मेरे पापा का बार बार कॉल आ रहा था, इसके कारण कट जा रहा है ये फोन।
अभी तुमने इतनी स्टोरी सुन ली है, कुछ बता सकते हो?
नहीं सर, अभी सुन भी नहीं पाया, अभी अभी जस्ट मैंने ज्वाइन करा, फिर से रीज्वाइन करा।
अच्छा, ओके, राइट. Okay, one more picture, right? वैसे अगर इसमें हम देखें, if we have to see what is the action here, what will that be in this picture? Akash, action बता सकते हो?
यस सर.
Hmm.
सर देयर आर सम फ्रेंड्स हु आर प्लेइंग।
नहीं, टाइटल अगर तुम्हें देना हो, एक शॉर्ट टाइटल देना हो इसका, तो क्या बोलोगे?
अच्छा,
अच्छा,
प्लेइंग कार्ड इन अ बर्थडे पार्टी ऑफ समवन्स चाइल्ड।
हाँ, इतना लंबा चौड़ा तुम लिखोगे तो टाइटल ऐसा होता है, कोई कहानी का टाइटल होता है ऐसा इतना लंबा चौड़ा?
नो सर.
हाँ, तो उसको थोड़ा शॉर्ट करो, ठीक है? चिराग.
Yes, sir. Get together with friends.
Okay. Uni,
Passive smoking and its effects.
Rahul,
Sir, Diwali get together.
दिवाली गेट टुगेदर. ये तुमने अभी किया है, पहले तो नहीं था दिवाली. हाँ,
Yes, sir.
चलो ठीक है, ओके. समीर,
Making a short film on negative impact of smoking.
मेकिंग अ शॉर्ट फिल्म नहीं, मेकिंग को भी हटा दो. इज अ शॉर्ट
Okay,
फिल्म
sir.
ऑन
Smoking.
इफेक्ट, राइट, और इल
Okay,
इफेक्ट
sir.
ऑफ स्मोकिंग, राइट?
Okay, sir.
उत्कर्ष,
Raising voice against child labor.
ओके. यस, आकाश, कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हो तुम?
नो सर.
अच्छा, okay. So, observe carefully. Tips for writing good picture, a good story is observe carefully, right? Chirag. So बच्चा वहां पे दिखाई दे रहा है, स्मोक चल रही है, स्मोकिंग हो रही है, कार्ड्स खेल रहे हैं लोग. इज इट ओके, राइट? सो दैट्स वाई बच्चे का कैरेक्टर यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा क्रिटिकल है. यू नीड टू कीप दैट इन माइंड, राइट? जब हम फोरग्राउंड और बैकग्राउंड की बात करते हैं, बैकग्राउंड जो मैंने आपको पहले दिखाया है, the 3 pictures which I showed you, वहां पे the background is very important, right? In all these 3 pictures, the background is significant. So you need to keep this in mind. So that will change the context of the whole story. 10 prominent characters, in this, we've seen this small boy, he becomes a prominent character, right? But the story will revolve around this. Weave a story with imagination, right? Should be related to the picture and should be realistic. Realistic भी होनी चाहिए, right? ऐसे नहीं कि एक ही बंदे ने, I mean, in case of fire, in case of accident, I've seen so many students कि वो अकेला ही जो है, Superman, सब कुछ वो अकेला ही कर लेता है, right? So it needs to be, the action needs to be realistic. Okay. So this is the second picture. Observe this picture for 30 seconds. Okay. Start recording your observations and writing your stories. Okay, stop writing. Finished, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, this time I'm going to time you people, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rahul,
Right.
go
So
ahead.
one main character of age 25 in a positive mood. Action of my story is performing duty. Sohan is a forest inspector on duty in Meghalaya. He got a report from his subordinates that due to storm, electric wire has been fallen down. The need to cut the power immediately. Sohan ran towards the powerhouse that was 600 meters away from the forest station with the proper gears and switched off the power, called for the electrical team and put a warning on the radio frequency about it. After storm stopped, the wire was repaired and all set to go.
Okay, 30 seconds you have taken. Right. By and large, it's okay. So, what do others think? Is it relevant? Is the story relevant to the picture? Just say yes or no. Yeah, Utkarsh, your views.
Yes, sir. It seems fairly relevant.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 5, how will you rate the overall impact of this?
2.5, sir.
No, whole numbers.
2,
2,
sir.
3. Yeah. Okay. Unni,
Yes, sir.
yes, no, and the
Uh,
number.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And can you just repeat the scale again?
1 to 5.
3, sir. 3 or
Okay.
2.
Chirag,
3, sir.
relevant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, who else is there? Samir. Samir there? Okay. Akash,
Yes, sir. 3.
3. Anybody else who's there?
Sir, I'd just like to add, I said 2 because I didn't see any electric wires in the picture, so that's why.
But that he said, that has happened in the powerhouse or somewhere, right?
Right, sir.
That can be, anyway, all these things, when you say you didn't see the powerhouse, the electrical cable, all these things can be brought out during the discussion, right? In case there are some issues like this, that can be brought up in the discussion,
Right,
right?
sir.
Yeah, all these observations that you have, these can be brought out accordingly. Okay. Yeah, Utkarsh, your story.
Yes, sir. So Ravi is a 25. Perceived a male character, 25 years of age, mood positive. So Ravi is a 25-year-old government teacher working in a small village in Odisha, and he has to commute to his village daily by walk. One day, when he was coming back home, he faced a strong storm and couldn't find any shelter. He struggled and reached back home, and the next day he decided to take his students on an outdoor best out of waste activity, and he made small shelters for commuters as the storm season was approaching.
Okay. 35 seconds is the time that you've taken, 35, 38 seconds. So that's okay. So how would you all rate this, Rahul? Yes, no, and rating.
So I would say likely yes, sir.
Okay. Likely yes नहीं होता, either yes है or no है.
No, sir. I
Okay.
don't think.
Rating.
Rating to sir. For the narration, 2, 3, sir.
Okay. Chirag.
Sir, Not relevant,
Why do you find it not relevant?
sir, because he's a school teacher.
तो स्कूल टीचर आंधी
And
तूफान में ही जा सकता है.
and another thing, sir, like he construct something a shelter type for. So it is not a work of a school teacher.
क्यों श्रमदान नहीं करते?
सर बट जो एक्शन अभी हो रहा है सर वो सूट नहीं कर रहा ना कि ऑन द स्पॉट जो एक्शन चल रहा है.
Okay, fine. Right. No, all these things can be, उसमें discuss हो सकते हैं during the discussion, right? And Utkarsh, I hope you are taking note of this. It is, how your story is being received by the group.
Right, sir.
Okay. So, one needs to be mindful of this. Who else is there? Samir is there? No. Akash.
यस सर.
हाँ, बताओ.
सर मुझे भी नो.
Okay. And rating, narration, confidence.
यस सर. आई विल गिव हिम 3.
3. Okay. Unni.
Sir, relevant, yes. Rating 2.
Okay. Why rating 2?
Sir, I felt the picture is the idea can be a little bit more action. I mean, containing. It's somewhat away from the
So वो relevance में आ जाएगा, right?
Yes.
I'll be more into relevance. So when we talk about this story narration, of course, relevance is one thing. Besides that, in the manner of his expressing his ideas and the content, the flow, the confidence, all these things combined together. So that is the overall impact आपको कैसा लग रहा है, right? So this is
then it would be 3 or 4, sir.
Who else? Anybody else is left? No. Yes. Chirag, your story.
Yes, in the picture, there is one male character of age around 25 years. Akash is a worker and lives with his family in village. Once his mother got ill and there is an urgent need of treatment. As they in the storm, there is no transport facility as well as network communication is down. So he decided to move towards the city and to search the doctor. So he walks towards the city against the storm and finally reaches the government hospital. He tells the doctor about the condition of his mother and buys medicine and later came back.
Okay. So about 35, 38 seconds. That's okay. Time is okay. So he, आपको यहाँ पे लग रहा है कि is he walking or is he rushing?
Yes, sir, rushing.
Okay. So the kind of words that you use to express your views, that needs to be. I'm of course just trying to be a little maybe more specific in this, right?
Yes.
The aim is to make you use the right vocabulary.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
because वहाँ पे वो दिख नहीं रहा है कि he's just walking. He's not walking, right? He is rushing. Maybe it could be running or it could be whatever very fast walk. So urgency तुमने दिखाई है वहाँ पे. That is okay.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
To use that right words. Okay. And जब उसको आप you say that he got the medicines and then
Came back.
came back. No, urgency आपने दिखाई medicines खरीदने के लिए और came back मतलब क्या हुआ? वो came back, how did he come back? और वैसे ही उसमें वापस आया या he rushed back and gave the medicines on time and prevented any damage.
Yes, sir.
तो तुम तो खाली उसको वहां पे क्यों छोड़ दे रहे हो? Complete the action, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Kalki, Unni, what do you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no, and rating.
Sir, yes. Rating would be 2 or 3.
Okay. Rahul.
Yes, the story is relevant and score is 3.
Okay. Utkarsh.
Relevant, sir. Score 3.
All right. Akash.
Relevant, sir. And score 4.
Score 4. Yes. Yeah. Unni, your story.
Yes, sir. Friends, in the picture, I perceived a male character of age 24. And my story goes like this. Ram is an MBBS graduate and recently started working for National Health Mission. And he worked in a health facility in a village. He stayed in a nearby city, and one night, the villager told him immediately that one person is having a very bad health and the weather condition is really bad and the transportation is completely blocked. He quickly went to the village, but unfortunately, the road was blocked, so he decided to walk from there. He was rushing towards the place. Once he reached the place, he found out that this person was having a seizure, and he immediately used an epinephrine shot to stabilize his condition, and he kept on monitoring his condition until the weather was over. Once the weather was over, he was taken to a hospital, and there the person completely recovered, and he was taken back to the village.
Okay. So Unni, I think, sorry, I could not time you. Can you repeat this again? Narration.
Friends, one second. Yeah, friends, in the picture I perceived one character who is male and his age is around 24. And Ram, my story goes like this. Ram is an MBBS graduate and he recently started working for the National Health Mission, and he worked in a health facility of a village, and he stayed in a nearby city. One day at night, he got an immediate call from a villager stating that one person is having a very bad health and he need to immediately reach the place. He couldn't be taken to the hospital as the entire road is blocked. He quickly rushed to the place, and while rushing, he found out that the transportation is blocked, and he started walking towards that place. Once he reached there, he found out this person was having a seizure, and he used an epinephrine shot to keep him calm. And he monitored the condition until the weather was fine. Then he was taken to the hospital, and the person was completely cured after that.
Okay. So yeah, you've taken about 45 seconds. So time-wise is okay. Let us see how's the relevance as observed by others. Utkarsh.
I find it very relevant, sir. I'll give it 4.
Okay. Chirag.
Yes, sir, it is relevant.
Rating.
Sir, 3.
Okay. Rahul.
So the story is relevant, sir, but I think there should be action to add something that Dr. Carry or something. Sir said no, he will give a shot, and but the person is not carrying anything. There should be action that from where he got it. Otherwise, the story is relevant and the score is 4.
Okay. Yeah, who else is there? Akash.
Yes, sir. Relevant, sir, and I will give him 4.
Give him 4. Okay. Right. So that is as far as so I hope you're getting a sense of what can go wrong, right? And जैसे आप इसको इस तरह की चीजों को थोड़ा सा ज्यादा practice करो for the sake of managing your time and covering the significant aspects of the picture, right? So what I suggest is that you can take some pictures. There are plenty available on the net, right? Take a picture, time yourself 30 seconds, observe the picture, 1 minute, record the observations, and thereafter narrate the story.
Sir, I do have a doubt in this, sir. Sir, when I actually wrote the story and when I was halfway around it, it usually happens with me ki I get a better idea. Like in this story, when I was halfway through it, I realized that I can use the direction of the winds, and I had already used Odisha as a village. So there are I could have used that, and I thought of using that, but I was already too far away in the story.
No problem. Don't confuse yourself, right? Keep it simple. Don't make it complex. If it is like this, it is like this, right? ये सब छोड़ दो आप खाली जो आपके दिमाग में आइडिया आया था, the first idea that comes to your mind, right? उसको आप लिख दो. Now thereafter, what you do is you in the discussion stage पे तब आप ये idea add कर सकते हो.
Right, sir.
Right? Because otherwise what will happen is you will get confused yourself. You will mix it up. Your confidence level will be shaky. when you're
Right, sir.
narrating, right? Because there'll be conflict. Kya ye bolu ya ye bolu. Okay.
Right, sir.
So it is better to go with that simple idea. It's not about how beautiful the story is कि उसके ऊपर picture बन सकती है कि नहीं बन सकती है. Some people are they practice from this point of view. I've seen educators talking about like this. Okay, sir, मेरी story बहुत अच्छी थी और ऐसा था वैसा था something. It's not about how ideal the story is. It is about what you perceive, right? And within that time, उसके बाद में आप discussion में कैसे what do you bring to that? It's not about writing a perfect story. So आपके दिमाग में जो आ रहा है कितने confidently आप बोल रहे हो, right? Normally some of the people try to make the story so complex, introduce so many characters and give details here and there, and they will go at the speed of 1.5 times the normal speed, right? So उससे क्या होता है कि the impact on the group may not be very positive, right? Half of the people may not understand, right? And they will also get confused. ये बोल क्या रहा है? So don't mix up things. So keep them simple. There's no problem, right? A simple story, a simple maybe a topic in the lecturate, spoken well, delivered well, has a better impact rather than making something very complex or or you're not able to do justice to it. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Utkarsh.
Right,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So don't have too many doubts at that point of time, right? There is an opportunity for you to do this during the discussion stage.
Also,
Right.
sir, one more doubt, like specific to screening procedure that I had. Like
Hmm.
sometimes when we go to the screening procedure, and usually when we are in the group, in the later part of the group, the last part,
Discussion.
maybe, yeah,
Hmm.
right, sir. So we are like, for me personally, I try to hear everybody's story, and what happened with me is I forgot the key points of my story while I was hearing others' story. So I didn't. I am usually a very confident speaker, but I fluttered there, like in the last part. So how to tackle that thing?
No, so here, were you the last speaker or close to the last speaker?
Last speaker, sir.
So उसमें क्या है कि आपने पहले 4-5 लोगों का आप सुन सकते हो, लेकिन लास्ट के when your turn is coming, just short of that, stop listening to others. Heavens are not going to fall if you don't hear the stories of the preceding 3 or 4 people. उस टाइम पे focus on your own story, right? Yeah, if you have already spoken, suppose you are number 3, okay, serial number 3, and there are 18 guys. So next 14, 15, 15 people, you got enough time. You've spoken your thing. Now you can listen to the other stories and then give those points, build on that, their points during the discussion. Lekin, yeah, it's a genuine problem where if you start focusing on what everybody is saying and you are yet to speak, तब थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है. So my suggestion would be कि आपका जब टर्न आ रहा है उससे थोड़ा सा पहले, maybe 2, 3 or 4 speakers before that, you stop listening to that, right? वो आपको पता लग जाएगा, कोई ऐसा इतना serious issue नहीं है. But no, in the bargain, if you miss out on your own story, I think that's not correct. Because
Right, sir.
obviously, ये जो individual narration है, it is very, very important. और इसकी अहमियत जो है बहुत बढ़ जाती है when there is a fish market situation, right? So then what is the thing that is being given more credence is your OIR, your story, and your individual narration. Now they get higher weightage because fish market situation may nothing very much substantial maybe can be made out from the discussion as far as the assessors are concerned, may not be able to decipher too much, right? So हालांकि कोशिश रहती है कि you divide the group, the GTO might divide the group and things like that, but still maybe not too much of takeaways from their assessment value जो है. So ऐसे में what happens is you bank on OIR, you bank on the substance of the story, and the kind of narration. So narration जब आप कर रहे हो, at least one thing is very clear कि आपका thought process पता लग रहा है, आपका confidence पता लग रहा है, right? So once these things are clear, your OER is good, and if there is a confusion as far as the discussion is concerned, not much of assessment value, like I said, right? So based on this, also the screening is done, right? So individual narration, ये आपके लिए sacrosanct है. This is your time, right? वो चकदे में बोलते हैं ना कि ये टाइम आपका है, आपसे कोई छीन नहीं सकता है. Precisely, it is the same thing.
Right, sir.
Right? So this time no one can steal from you, no one can rob from you. But if you let it slip because of something else, then there can be a problem. Right?
Got it, sir.
Yeah. Anybody
Sir,
else? Any doubts?
Sir,
Yeah.
I do have a doubt, sir. Sir, I saw the interview of Natasha, like you posted today. Sir, the thing is that I saw that in that video that she was saying that she used to stop practicing the psych 2 weeks before the SSB. Sir, my SSB is on 7th, and the last time I prepared for practice some psych was 6 months to 7 months back. So I didn't do any work. So would you suggest me to at least do the practices or just go straight away?
नहीं go do practice a little bit, because see practice जो मैं suggest करता हूँ, it is mainly from the point of view of your time management, writing speed, right? So normally many people are not used to writing fast, और आजकल writing का काम नहीं होता है, keyboard पे ज़्यादा काम होता है, isn't it?
Even the exams are on OER, no? So on online or OER, so you don't have to write.
So you got to practice for the sake of this. No, when I'm saying, say, I asked her very categorical question. Okay, how do you remain original? My question to her was, how do you remain original despite everyone around practicing so much, and itna practice karte log 500, I don't know. I mean, some people are very, very crazy about it, right? Because everyone, he's practiced 100, I'll practice 150, somebody is practicing 200, something like that. So in the light of this, I was saying ki how do you manage to remain original, right? If you watch the interview again, hear that, right? That is the context. Okay. So when the too much of practice is there, then what happens is you almost form a preconceived story. वो एक आपके दिमाग में रहता है, and वही चीज आप जाके लिख देते हो without perhaps going into certain details. Getting that point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So read it in that context, right? Don't, I mean, it's not that it is, see, all these things that, I try and bring out in the interview, I always, give a preface to something, right? Whatever they are saying, it's not that, it is what has worked for them will work exactly for everybody. No, it is far from it. But yes, some of it might work. Some of it might work, right? So, different interviews, you see Utkarsh ka interview, dekho aap, Nishkarsh, I've not been able to take, you say Rahul Dwivedi was there, right? Uska, long back, you go and see this Train4SSB YouTube thing. So there are about, I think 8 to 10 interviews or maybe even more, right? So everyone has his own issues, right? So तुम्हारा अपना वो है, and I told you, you got to now practice on this, reducing that speed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Any last point before we wind up?
Sir, I didn't narrate my story.
तो आपके लिए क्या किया जाए?
तो मतलब मुझे भी बोलना है अपने स्टोरी को, अपने स्टोरी को.
Abhin, and if you have missed something, we can't stretch it too long, right? So that is it. And yeah. So Chirag, just remember that. Okay, I mean, in this, I'm just saying, Chirag met me today. I had an offline session in Gurgaon, right? So just for the sake of information to others, if there's somebody in the NCR region and they want to have some kind of an offline interaction with me, they can post their requirements in the group itself or in the comment section here, right? We will see. And I'll try and see if I can organize some kind of a offline discussion, like PPDT, group discussion, group planning exercise, something like that. Of course, it will be paid for. So if there are people, then this can be arranged, right? But then you need to work on this, right? So Chirag, you can look out for this and let me know in case there are some people who are wanting to do this, right? Basically, it's for those people who can be around at that time, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank you very much and keep working on this. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Rahul, which is the next SSB?
So June, sir, CDS.
Yes. Okay. Okay. We'll catch up some other time. Okay. I think you need
Okay, sir.
थोड़ा सा एक ट्वीक करना पड़ेगा तुम्हें अपना
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
एटीट्यूड, ठीक है? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. See you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jay.
Thanks, sir.